Talafalava, everybody, ladies and gentlemen from all over the world. I'm Miracle,
And I'm Miracle's sister.
aka Liz, aka Lizzie, aka Elizabeth, and welcome,
AKA.
welcome to the 5th episode for season 2 on Nights of the Round Laulau. Feels
Did
like,
that sound like a sound effect to you?
to be honest, it sounds like, it feels like we haven't really been doing much with recording our podcast
You're doing
episodes.
so much. What are you doing?
You-
Can you not kick me under the table?
Why did I not kick you under the table, you liar? Because we now release our podcast every fortnight, I feel like we haven't been doing anything.
Doesn't
So
feel
if it
as
feels like we're not active or as active as we should be on this podcast, my humblest, sincerest, heartfelt apologies.
From the depths of your heart.
A soul first and then
Wow.
heart.
That was pretty deep.
Oh gosh. Thank you very much for tuning in for another episode here on our podcast. We are so grateful for your listening ears, for your presence, and for the love and support. We know I'm sure there are a lot of people that listen just for the sake of listening because it's us. Do you know what I mean? Just play it in the background while they're doing things.
What can I say?
And not really taking in what's happening. They're just like, oh, just because I love the girls and I support them, just let it play while I'm doing things.
Yeah.
So thank you. If that is you, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And for those who continue to message and send through DMs, PMs, or whatever it is they call it on social media, thank you so much. Your messages of encouragement, they mean so much to us. I know that I've had blips over the last month where I've been saying, oh, I just feel like everything's going so slow. I feel like we should be so past this point. Like, and then I get these messages from from people who talk about an episode or talk about something that we might have said or something in our YouTube videos that's really resonated with their hearts. And then I'm like, oh, and even our music. And then I'm like, oh, you know what? God, you know what you're doing. All glory belongs to you. Yeah. I'm sure the Lord's like, oh, just one. Shout out to the Lord.
Before we move on, can we just first talk about someone's hat that is can we just address it before
address the elephant in the
you
room?
guys are staring at it the whole video like, what the heck is on her?
Honestly, I don't even know what's on my head. I just grabbed it.
I think it's super cute. I really like it. I think it's adorable.
I love fedora hats, and the one that I bought from Shine, I believe,
Sheen.
Oh, whatever it's called. I wore it so many times that it got worn out.
Oh yeah, it broke, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
Like it came apart like an onion peel.
Yeah. And so I couldn't wear it anymore. This one I don't really like because it doesn't fit on my big head properly. And so...
Did you buy it for you?
Yeah.
I've always just thought it was Rev's hat.
No, I bought it for me.
Oh.
And then I found a site actually to buy some hats. Sorry, we had to cut out that part. I just remembered it was censored information. But for those of you that might be attending some special engagement event or wedding in September, catch me wearing a fedora hat. That's all I want to say.
You censored information. You said censored information, and then you realized you made a mistake, and then you said the exact same thing again.
I said what I said.
You can't.
Already did.
No, but like you can't put that in the podcast.
Already did. Anyways, thank you so much, guys. Don't mind Liz. She's out here, losing her mind.
Why are you saying losing? How do you know I haven't already lost?
Because your hair's still there, crooked. Exposed. Oh my gosh, something is wrong with her. Anyways, guys, sorry about that mishap. We pray that you are well. And we're going to go right into our topic for this week, which when I talk about topics for our episodes every fortnight, I always like to base it on something that I've gone through the week before or the fortnight before, something that's really resonated with my heart. And yeah, in case you're wondering, how do we get the topics to talk about every week or every fortnight? Yeah, it's a collective of things that happen to get to the episode. And so today we want to talk about the word family, familia, ainga, whānau. What's the other word?
Ohana.
Ohana. Ohana means family.
And family means no one gets left behind.
Or forgotten.
Or lost.
And so, you know, it might be a cliche topic to talk about, but
Summaries.
I know that, you know, people often ask us about, you know, how are you guys so close, you know, and they ask questions about our family dynamic and our relationship with each other and our parents, because we are very close, tight-knit crew. Now, both of our parents are of Samoan descent. Dad has some Tongan blood in him that traces back to the Tongan royal family, and both of them are from Savaii. Mum is Savaii Safotu, and Laulau Lava, and Dad is from Eva. And wait, what's his village again? Oh man, what's Dad's? I forgot Dad's village. Anyway, just that's Mum. Safune's mum. But yeah, Dad is from Eva. Like, I've just had a huge mind blank on where in Eva he's from. And so Dad is the eldest and Mum is the second eldest in their siblingship. Both of them migrated to New Zealand because it was like, you know how people go to America to live the American dream? People go from the Samoan Islands to New Zealand to live out the dream of creating a better life for their future and to work to send money back to Samoa. And so that's what Mum and Dad did. And they eventually found each other because they both worked at a particular factory. Mum worked in the cafeteria and Dad was what did Dad do? No, oh my gosh. I believe Dad was one of the factory workers.
He was. I was just joking.
And Dad had this huge beard. If you know who our dad is and what he looks like, he looks like a mafia boss with his all white beard that is lined up with his hair. And
it's a straight beard.
Correct.
Like, there's no curl in it,
it's
no
like
fuzz.
Pristine.
Yeah.
Yep. Honestly, it's the cleanest beard out. Anyways, back in the day, he used to rock a black beard. And so I'm trying to cut a long story short here. He met Mum there. They fell in love. They got married. And Dad was saved first, meaning that he gave his life to Jesus first. And through his relationship with Jesus, he was attending a study group called International Needs. It was a Bible study group, which he eventually invited Mum to. And Mum became pregnant with child, and then when she became pregnant with child, it didn't turn out the way they wanted it to. I'm going to skim past this because I know we're going to talk about it when we sit down with Mum and Dad at the next podcast. But anyways, they had complications with the birth. She lost the baby, and then all of these things happened. She found Jesus at the study group, gave her life to the Lord, became a born-again Christian. Her and Dad served the Lord at Elam Church in Wellington. And as they were serving there, and they started popping out babies. And so it was myself first. I am 30 years old. Rev, who is the second oldest, he is 28 years old. And then Josh, he is 27 years old. Lige, who is 25 years old. And then Liz, who is 20 years old. Now, Yeah, I know.
Wait, Elijah's 24,
Is he?
about to turn 25.
Are you sure?
Because they're not 26, 27, and 28. They're not all 1 year apart.
Yeah, but Elijah's 20. Josh is 27.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's 27. So that means
Rev's 28, so then Elijah's 24
Yeah.
or 25.
No, he's 24.
Oh, must be then. So that's our ages, and we grew up in New Zealand, in P-Town, in Porirua, in the Creek area. Then we grew up in state housing because we couldn't afford our own house and we couldn't afford to rent, so we had to rent through. It was almost like special house cases for those that couldn't afford. And then we eventually bought a house out in the Hutt area. We moved there. But all of my life, majority of my life in New Zealand, we were attending Hosanna World Outreach Centre, which is under the Hosanna Network, Apostle Joshua and Helen Avia. And then we migrated here to Australia because of God's calling over our family, in particular God's calling or the confirmation that he had given my dad that we were supposed to be here. And then we still served under the Hosanna Network, under the leadership of Apostle Joshua and Helen Avia. And then God was like, Abraham, it's time for you and the family to trust me, to jump out in faith, take a leap of faith, and I'm calling you to the north. And here we are. So growing up, we've always been close. We didn't have much close family. We did have my dad's uncles, my mum's sister, a couple of cousins here and there. But because our lives were heavily consumed by ministry and heavily revolved around God's work, we didn't spend as much time with our families as normal families would, and spending time with their families. And a lot of our families also, they weren't born again Christians. They were all set in their ways of e whakasa and Seventh-day Adventists. And whereas mum and dad, who were Christians, born again Christians, they wanted us to be around the ministry, around God's work, and so that's all that we knew. And because that was all that we were brought up around, it was just us seven. And so it was, because it was just us seven, that's all we've ever known. It's just been us. And so when we moved over here, we had no family here in Australia.
Yeah.
Everyone else had some form of connection or family, but not us. We did find family here in Australia eventually, like a couple of cousins and some aunties. Yeah, but again, because our lives revolved heavily around the ministry and God's work, it was more like, okay, we know family is there, but let's just continue to do this and build God's work and do what it is that he's called us to do. But majority of our family is in Samoa. And so, yes, and people always ask, like, why are you guys so tight? What's so tight? Because we've ever had.
We had no choice.
We are all we've ever had, to be honest, us and God. Or 30 years of my life. That's all I can remember. And so, and there's nothing wrong with that. I know it might not be everyone's cup of tea because everyone has a longing to belong. Did that make sense?
Yes.
Everyone has
a longing to belong.
Yeah, everyone has that, that pit feeling and that desire to belong, to feel accepted, wanted, and a part of something that brings warmth, that brings love, that brings, do you know what I mean? That fills the void of loneliness and emptiness.
People just want to be at home.
Yeah, correct. Just want to belong. And so I never saw the need for us to find that elsewhere because we had it within our own walls, within our group of 7. And so, yeah, that's why we're so tired, because this is all it's ever been. I don't know how else to explain it other than that. And my parents were always so vigilant in making sure that we grew up in the ways of God. And they would teach us in God's ways. We would get hidings upon hidings, especially the older 3, us that are the older 3 children. And yeah, I've mentioned this before, we're always known as the general's kids. Dad was really huge on discipline because he didn't want his children to grow up everywhere, as you would say. There's the Samoan word for it, but can't be bothered speaking Samoan right now. But he didn't want his children to run rampant and run amok and, just be undisciplined. So my dad never spared the rod for the oldest 3 children. He spared it for the youngest 2. And
we still turned out all right. Take that back right now.
Anyways, and so because that's how they brought us up. I always saw the importance of revolving my life around God. And because I was revolving my life around God, it meant revolving it around ministry and doing His work. Because one thing that Mum and Dad, there was a vision that Mum had earlier on in my childhood where she said, man, God specifically said to her, if you build my house, I will build your house. And it was figuratively, literally, spiritually. And that saying, I need to get it tattooed somewhere, because that saying literally, it was etched into the tablet of my heart, that if I was to build God's house, He would build mine. Not a physical home. It was more so, if we were to build God's kingdom, enlarge His kingdom, make His name known, and bring people to salvation and to experience the love of Christ, that He would look after us, He would protect us, He would provide for us, and ultimately look after us and spiritually build our lives up. So I've always, that's all that I've ever known. That's my heart. That is now the makeup of who I am. And I think, as siblings, we don't all see it the same way. We all might see it a bit differently to that. But in saying what it was that I was saying before, that's how we've grown so close, so tight. And
I don't think we saw that we were tight.
No.
Like, we were just hanging out, we're just doing what we do best. And but then people would always say, why are you guys so close? Like, are you actually hanging out? And we'd be like, yeah. And then they'll be like, what?
Yeah.
It was just, so we didn't know that this wasn't normal until it was pointed out. We're like, oh. Okay.
Yes, 100%. The whole not knowing it was normal that it wasn't normal for siblings to hang out so often and be so close. We were really taken aback by it. And also, as well as being close outside, like even in serving in ministry, we served together. It was always like as a front, together as a team, the Pallets. And so we didn't know any different.
Yeah.
But you're so true and so right. And until it was pointed out to us, we didn't know any different.
Yeah.
And people found it weird that we would have sibling outings. Like, not weird, but they'll be like, you guys have sibling outings? Yes.
Back when we had the time to do these
I
things.
know. Oh my gosh. We would literally dedicate a whole day almost
day.
on, it'll be a Saturday, and we would go out, we'd do a bit of breakfast, some lunch, do a bit of shopping, watch a couple of movies, have dessert, and then come home. Like, that was our sibling
or
day
it
out.
would either be that, or we would wake up late and then we'd have to clean the house. And then we'd go eat, go watch movies, and then go have dinner and then go home.
Yeah, that was legit.
Back in the day when we could go home on a Saturday night at 11 o'clock.
Yeah, things have changed now that
Things have changed.
Mum and Dad are senior pastors of Mount Refuge, and we're their children. It's 6 o'clock curfew, everybody. 6 o'clock curfew so that you're ready for practice at 7 o'clock and then go and rest because, we have to get up early to set up and prepare our hearts for the service.
We're supposed to be asleep by like 10 p.m.
Not that that happens at all, but we try to because
we try our best, but there's
I feel like we've gotten better.
That sleep still at like 2 a.m. on a Sunday morning.
Anyways, so I think that our closeness and how tight we are is an ode to our parents and how they raised us. They raised us together to always do things together as a unit. And so I think up until maybe I think when we hit the north, we went through a lot of things which rocked.
No, we didn't.
And those things rocked our relationships.
We went through a lot of things, yeah.
I feel like we went to hell and back. And that really rocked our relationships as siblings and
really tested us as a family.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And I don't think we would have been able to make it through if it wasn't for Jesus. Like I thank the Lord for his saving grace and the power of the blood of the Lamb that, when it says in his word, no weapon formed against you shall prosper, it's literally, we literally had to pray that over our family because the devil is a liar.
Yeah.
And so going back to how our crew, this is all we've ever known. Now, because it's only been us 7 and we had to create our family. And our family no longer consisted of the people that carried our bloodline. It consisted of the people that we loved and those people that loved us. And that became our family. And mum and dad had some spiritual children who we really became really tight with. Excuse me. We did everything together. We hung out. The kids would, are all grown up now. And the sense of like our La Familia it's very important to me. And again, these kids didn't come out of my parents' stomachs, but like mum and dad saw them as if that, they were their own children. And that became our family. That became our circle. And it's an ode to the fact that family doesn't have to be the carrier of your bloodline or your blood. It's the people that have this deep love for you and that you have this, and it's reciprocated from you to them. That is family. That is the bond of ohana. And I also find that family is generated from loyalty. Do you think, what do you think? What are your thoughts on this?
That family is based off loyalty?
Yeah.
I don't think,
like it's, I find that
I think family has a lot of foundations and loyalty would be one of them,
right.
But like it wouldn't be the main thing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. For me in family, it's not just the love that's carried. For me, it's also trust and loyalty. Those are very two important things to me when it comes to family. I find, sorry, you go.
Oh, no, I was going to say.
You look like you're about to go off. Oh my gosh. False advertisement. So I'm grateful to God for his love and purpose over our lives and the fact that we were connected to a church and through that we created or had relationships that turned into family. Do you find that there's like in your own mind frame or in your own state of mind that you put tears to your family based on love and loyalty?
Not based on love and loyalty, but there's definitely tears.
Tears, yeah.
I think family...
T-I-E-R-S, okay? Not tears to cry.
I just want to say... No, I think family, because we grew up so close in the way in which our home was run, family, the word and the essence of family for me was just very sacred and is very sacred.
Truth.
So like even with like the people we were so close with, it was hard for me to come to terms with that they would be classed as family. Like growing up for me, all the only family that I carried in my heart was the ones that I shared blood with. And then it wasn't until I grew up a little bit and started to realize how how like different types of family can contribute to your life. So there's different, for me, the different tiers of family would be how they would, again, contribute and how they affect me in my life.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, yeah. Did you know that just before our podcast, just before we were recording, I was like going through all of our photos that we took in Samoa, and it really made me miss them.
Miss Samoa.
Yeah, because even though family is such a special thing, because even though we have only, well, me personally, I've only been to Samoa like once, but just like seeing those photos and seeing how much I miss all of our family back in Samoa, man, it's such a strong bond that you share with people.
I like that you mentioned the word sacred, because we take the word family very
seriously.
heavily. Like we're heavy on the word family because of our upbringing and how family has contributed to our own individual lives and how we class our family. Like we hold our family, in particular our parents, in high regard. Because the heart of the home, the foundation of the home is family, and then the heart of it is our parents.
Yeah, the foundations of your house build your character. You every time, I remember growing up, and you guys would always say, like everything starts at home. So if you have like traits and stuff, or like things that you do a certain way, it's most likely that it started in your house, like within your family. So yeah, it's just...
It's funny that you say that, because yeah, you're so right. Dad used to say that all the time. If you know how to clean the toilet at home, you'll know how to clean the toilet at your workplace or in your school. If you know how to, and they would always say, it doesn't make sense that you know how to clean, do dishes, tidy up, love everyone out there, and you don't know how to do that same thing here, if not better here, because your home is where everything starts. And at first, I remember it used to be like, I used to roll my eyes at it and be like,
oh, you weren't,
everything starts at home, okay. And now more than ever, I find...
I'd be like, let me live my life.
Mum, you heard it here first.
No, I would, like back then,
And yeah, now more than ever, I recognize, yes, it is so true that it does start from home. It's the foundation. It's where we learn to love. It's where we learn to have loyalty, and we learn the art of trust and sonship in the home. And because we can master it at home, we can then do it outside of our home, outside of the walls, our confined walls of our family.
Yeah. And in family, you get tested the most. Like, no one will annoy you,
try your patience,
or like really push your buttons the way a sibling or a parent would. Like, or even a cousin. Like, it's just within your family home. When it's good, it's good. But when it's bad, it's really bad.
And anyone that you class as your family, it hurts 10 times more.
It hurts 10 times. Yeah. That's why the foundations of your family and your relationships are so important, because it is that in which you would lean on to try and rebuild that relationship.
And I love that our parents, I mentioned this before, that this podcast was stemmed from us sitting down, sharing a meal with each other and with our parents. And in those moments when we would have these like beautiful talks on life, or the sermon that we heard that Sunday, and it would really, I would always think about how that would bless my heart, those moments. And obviously the reason why Nights of the Round Laulau started, because we love to talk and share our... Well, I was getting to something here about breaking bread. Oh, yes, about breaking bread. And it's funny because when we would have those times where we would break bread with mum and dad and the siblings and have talks, I think about how Jesus broke bread with his disciples. the disciples who were his family here on earth. Jesus, who was the deity of God, who was born of a virgin, didn't really have much family.
Yeah.
His family became his disciples, those that he taught and those that he built up. And so, the reason why I wanted to share this is because I was crying like a baby yesterday. I was crying like a baby yesterday, and I want to insert this real quick. Because if you didn't know, and if you aren't aware, or if you are aware but haven't fully accepted this, Jesus died and rose again for the forgiveness of our sins, so that we could be saved, so that we could be reconnected back to the heart of the Father and experience love, joy, family, and be adopted from the life and the mentality of an orphan
Of this world.
into sonship, into being heirs to the throne. And so Jesus broke bread with his disciples, right? And they had beautiful conversations just before he went to die on the cross. And at the Last Supper, Jesus is telling, he's teaching them still, even though he knew he was about to die, the man was still breaking bread, washing their feet as a sign of service and love, and he's teaching them, and he's pouring out of himself to his disciples, to his family, right? These people who don't carry his blood, but they carry the anointing of who Jesus is. They carry the love of Christ, right? Because they've experienced it firsthand. And I was just thinking about how, man, imagine I put myself in the position of the disciples who, now that I know that Jesus died on the cross, the disciples didn't know at the time what was about to happen. But I envisioned looking into this meeting that they're having, into their Last Supper. And I was taking my communion yesterday, and I couldn't stop crying because I was thinking, man, like, to watch Jesus break bread with these people before he died, and they had no idea. And I thought about my family and about how we break bread, but there are some days we can't break bread with each other because we are busy with our own lives. We work full time. We are doing ministry and doing different things in ministry, and just the importance of bringing it in. Like, it's like, a team when they have to bring it in. Because they need that pep talk. And I really recognize the importance of why God gave me family. When I took communion, I couldn't stop crying. I cried like a baby. I cried for my parents. I cried for my future children. I cried for my future nephews and nieces. I cried for my family who didn't know Jesus, but who are connected to me through blood that need to know him. I just cried like I was trying to hold in my ugly sob because I wanted to do the but I couldn't because I was trying to maintain composure.
I couldn't.
Because I was about to preach. But I wanted to slip that in because I want to bring it to my parents. Man, if you know me, then you would know how much my parents mean to me. I was talking to a friend last week about, I asked her, what's your greatest fear? And she started talking about things that she was scared of and she was fearful of. And she asked me this question back. She's like, what's your greatest fear? And I thought for the longest time, I'm like, I'm not really fearful of anything. And as I begin to take this into account and think, and what is something that I'm most fearful about that would really kill me, that would really what's the word? Something that I'm most fearful of. And when I came to think of it, it was losing my parents. My parents who established the foundations of the Peledi home, and because of that, I'm a byproduct of these foundations and the work and the love that they've sown into the foundation of this house, spiritually, physically, and mentally. I was saying to this friend, I would rather die and tell Lord, exchange my life for my parents. I would do anything. And I walked away from that conversation. At the time, I wasn't crying, but I think about it now, and I think about how the word family to me is important because of my parents. My parents are the true picture of family to me. They established family. They are the ones that rooted the word family in my heart. They defined family for me. They are the prime examples of family to me. And so, if that was to ever happen to me, that is my greatest fear. Not that they're gonna die, but we're getting older. Our parents are getting older, and I was saying to her, oh man, if they were to be taken away from me, family will be destroyed for me. The word family will mean nothing to me. And so I really wanted to. No, I'm good.
Okay.
I really wanted to highlight that for those of us that do have parents that don't recognize the importance of their parents, or are fighting with their parents, or just don't realize how the role that their parents play. I'm telling you, the importance. It is so important. Your parents are so important. Whether you have a good relationship with them or not, they are so important. Very crucial, very key to your existence. And for those that don't have parents, what's so beautiful about Jesus is, it says in his word that he is the father and the mother to the fatherless and the motherless. And where we lack physically, God fills spiritually. And I needed to put that in there. Do you want to say anything?
Do you want to wipe your tears?
I am.
Okay, girl. I just had a question for you. That was so cute, guys.
Yeah, my life revolves around God and my parents.
And Lizzie.
Well, you're Christian?
Oh, yeah. What have been some of the best things that you've learnt from family?
I think I've already mentioned them.
I've
learned that the heartbeat of a home is based on those that start, or the heart of the home is the foundation starters. That's the heartbeat of the home, and that of my parents. And it's not something that I've learned, it's something that I've been reminded of. And that's why it's so important to me. And because they are the sole founders of this house. Well, God is the establisher of this home and of the Paleti name through my parents. And because they are the heartbeat of the home, I one day hope that my siblings understand how crucial their role is in their children's lives. That they are the heartbeat of the home. And for years, I remember talking to Elijah and Josh last year, and even when we first moved here, about how do we teach, or how do we bring up our children to be like this, like us. And I remember answering that with, oh, hell no, I don't want them to be like us. I want them to be greater than us. We are filthy.
We're good for this generation.
Us unworthy of the cause of Jesus. I want our kids to be more than. And they're like, how can we? And at the time it was that my answer was, you just need to be connected to the Lord constantly, work at your relationship, and then allow that to filter through. I'm sure that mum, dad's teachings will come to play as you're looking after your children. But now, to add on to that, I think that probably one of the most important things for us to realize is that we are the heartbeat of a home. And so what we do, monkey say, monkey do. What we do, what we manifest, what we talk about, the things that we allow into our homes, the things we open doors to, it starts and ends with us as parents. So if we're wanting to bring up our children in the ways of the Lord, to love the Lord with all their hearts, to revolve their lives around ministry, it starts with us and what we do. Does that answer your question?
Kind of.
What more do you want from me?
I was thinking more like, for example, how you would respond to a certain situation, like if your family would have contributed to how you respond to things, or like a life lesson. But I guess, yeah, that was a good answer. Thank you.
I say your question again.
My question was simple. It was just, what has your family taught you, Miracle, in your 30 years of life? What are some life lessons that your family has taught you?
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. I've already.
No, you haven't.
Yeah, because I was talking about what my parents. Because
Yeah.
when the word family comes to mind, I think straight away mum and dad. I don't think of you guys.
No.
I think straight away of mum and dad.
Okay. Thank you.
No, okay. What
Next
are my
question.
life lessons? I think a lot of life lessons have come from being a part of this family. Everything I do, everything that I've projected in our episodes over the last almost year have been a result of what I've learned from my family. Trust, loyalty, those two things are very big to me. And I've established the foundations of trust and loyalty in it's etched in my heart because of what I've learned in my family and how important it is. Because it's important here, I take that as important out here, in my surroundings. So, yeah, I think I didn't have particular life lessons that I can tell you at this point, period. I didn't have particular life lessons. It's just things like life in general, things that I've learned. I'm a living testimony of things that I've learned from my family. Who I am, what I do, how I walk and talk, my side hustles, the empire I'm trying to build is a result of my family. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I guess so. I think my most favorite thing that I've gotten out of being a part of this family is to be a strong woman. I think both my mum, my sister, my brothers, and my dad all contributed to parts of building my character as an independent woman. Like I was always that girl. You know that one girl in your class where the teacher's like, "Okay, boys, can you just help me with like carrying the chairs?" And then it would be like that one girl who would like get up, be like, "I'll do it for you." Like, you know what I mean? Like the one girl who tried to be the guy in the class. Like I was like that girl as well. And there would always be like a handful of us girls like, we can carry more stuff than you. What are you doing, you twig? Like, so yeah, like that. But that was just how I was brought up. Every time I would always say I was brought up by men, and I was brought up by strong women. But yeah,
Beautiful.
I think family just really my family just really helped me build my character and who I want to be and what impact I want to have on this world.
I think also with family, because it has become the norm, it's who you see, it's what you've been brought up with all of your life, that you do develop traits of being territorial with your family. And I believe that that's something we will talk about later on.
That's just you? No.
Oh, no, it is me. I'm so territorial when it comes to the word family.
I'm not as bad.
If I ride and die for you, best believe I'll ride and die for you. And if people come up against that or try to wiggle their way in, honestly, I'll fight everyone and anyone because they're not worthy. Like, to me, you have to be worthy of the cause of family. And if you are not, get your step in. Get going. You're not welcome here. Wow, how Christ-like miracle. That's just my flesh talking.
You know, it's the fact that you acknowledge it.
I always acknowledge my
That
shortcomings.
is what it's important. That is what is important here.
And I'm sure everyone's like starting to get a better understanding of who I am.
Who this man child is.
Whose man
my
is
gosh.
this? Oh my gosh.
Oh, man.
But yeah, I can't be the only one.
We should do a meme. Like, you should like, I should take a photo of you like smiling, or just like being like take a video of you being you, and then do the caption. When your dad was praying for a son,
Bro, 100. Oh gosh.
and the Lord was like, no.
I'm gonna give you both.
And then Miracle walks in like, hello everyone, my name is Miracle.
Are you good? Are you okay? I can't be the only one that's territorial about the word family.
Oh no.
Or
For
not even the
sure.
word, just the essence and, my family. I can't be the only one. I'm sure there are people out there.
I don't think territorial is the right word.
It
well.
is territorial.
I think you're just really over.
Over petite. I'm not over petite. Look at me. Look at me.
I just think you are very
Overprotective.
overprotective.
I am.
She is super overprotective. Like
Yeah,
here's
it's in-
overprotective, and here's Miracle.
I'm so overprotective. It's intoxicating. Like,
Yeah,
which
So
is
then-
something
so
that I'm
Miracle's
working
up
on.
there, and then toxicity is just like right there.
It's something I need to work on, and I acknowledge that, and I know it's
No,
something
and she
that I need
has
to
been
work
working
on.
on it.
And
you have gotten a lot better.
And it's different. Liz is like, she's little. She's the youngest child of our home. I'm the
And
oldest.
she's the oldest, yeah,
So
for sure.
our perspectives are different. Our responsibilities are different. She's the cub. I'm the lioness.
No,
Best
you
believe
should have
it.
said you're the alpha.
The alpha male. Whatever the flip it is.
Alpha male.
And so the way she sees things in terms of family is way different
Yeah.
to how I see it. Because she doesn't have to fend for no one. She just stands in the shadows,
Just
in the
like-
cave, sits there,
I've just had to
licking
take-
wounds,
ooh,
eating.
licking
That's all she does.
Oh.
And then goes out and play, come back.
Oh, whoa.
And what I do, shower her. Shower her and feed her, clothe her. Like, she doesn't have to have that responsibility.
Drive her.
She roams, free life. Feels the air beneath her wings all day, every day.
Are you okay?
I'm so good.
Stop
Okay,
talking
okay.
into the mic.
Stop it. Stop yourself.
Miracle.
we record it again? Quick,
Don't make me
let's finish it up now.
reveal your hair again.
Oh, I didn't care about my hair. I'm not insecure. Sorry, everyone. I was just really my
That was just
protective
like
skills came out.
no, not pretend. That was she went defense, bro. She was like
I was on the attack. I was on the attack. Discipline. That's what it is.
no, discipline.
Putting in place. That's what it is. Leave my babe. Anyways,
She's got
as you can-
serious issues.
as you can tell,
I'm just gonna take back what I said in terms of she's been doing a lot better.
yeah, take it back. Don't make me reveal who you are. Oh, flip.
People already know of my innocence.
You're not innocent. You are not. When you try and you don't self-profess innocence. Innocence is professed from everyone seeing what's happening, not
Just stop.
self-proclaimed. Oh gosh,
Stop.
stop it. Anyways, so as you can tell, the word family triggers me very much. So it's very important. I hold it in high regard, and I'm grateful to my parents for building the foundation of family. Can you move your sausage fingers? My gosh, I'm out here trying to run a podcast. Oh man. And I can
You know
attest.
that's a really big insecurity.
She needs to learn to not be insecure.
I'm just kidding, guys. I really don't care. You can look at my fingers.
I think that for me, the relationship between parent and child is very important.
And child and child.
And between child and child is very important.
Oh, sorry, sibling. There we go.
Because, it's your training ground
It's your built-in best friend.
before the world. And that's where you know and you learn how to handle things, and that's where God teaches you, grows your character, builds you up, and challenges you to be able to handle the big bad world out there that will obviously never be as safe as within the walls of your family. Family is safe haven. Family is protection. Family is comfort. And so what's
Did you
so
say safe?
yes.
Oh.
What's so beautiful is all of these things, that is who Christ is. He is home. He is a safe haven, protector. He is love. The true essence of family is Jesus. And when we venture out in our lives and we try and fill the void of family with, looking for love in all the wrong places and in the wrong people, it just makes that void even bigger. The void of loneliness is real. It's a real thing. People go out searching the world for acceptance and a sense of belonging and a sense of something to fill the void of loneliness. And I want to tell you, remind you, wave it in the air, in your ears as you listen today, that Jesus is the representation of home. And in him you will never lack, nor will you ever feel lonely again. He fills the void because he is love. Love in every sense and facet of that word. Love is who he is. And because he loved us so much, he gave his life so that we could be reconnected back to him, have a second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth chance at life. Sixth chance at life. And like, who does that? Like, who provides this security? No one other than Jesus. And did you want to add to that?
No.
I'm rolling my eyes. For those that don't watch the video, I'm rolling my eyes.
But you just said everything. You've just taken the words right out of my mouth.
I always do. And yeah, because I developed the importance of my relationship with God within my family, I will take that I take that in my heart everywhere with me, and I am ready for when Jesus comes and calls us home.
Not tomorrow, though.
When he is ready, when he wants to.
Oh, please not tomorrow.
Do you, Lord?
I still need to save people.
And on that note, did you want to add anything to that, to family?
I love you all. You are my family.
And we are so grateful, very grateful for the community that we build here on this podcast with people from all over the world. If you are watching, please know, and if those that are listening, those that are watching, please know that you are loved, you are valued, and that your life means something. You have a purpose on this earth that was set before the foundations of this world by the man himself, the Lord. The Lord.
The Lord.
And yeah, the Lord bless you and keep you and continue to make his face to shine upon you. Thank you very much for listening to this episode. And we hope it blesses your heart. We hope you had a good laugh. And we also hope that, stirs some emotions of challenge and challenge in moving forward with your family.
We hope it stirs conversation.
Yeah, and conviction. But other than that,
And convincing.
yes. Anything else? And condemning. No.
Oh.
Anyways, love you all. Thank you very much for listening to this episode. I just wanted to let you know also that I will be introducing a new segment.
Yes.
Which will be released every Mondays at 4 a.m. Australian Eastern Time, or Australian Eastern Standard Time. And it's basically a 2 to 5 minute encouragement where I am trying to get you motivated for the week that will be.
Yep.
So,
and then my segment on Friday is Liz with Friday.
No, it's not.
And that's released every Friday.
Shut up. Oh my gosh.
Imagine if there was actually an notification.
No. And so yeah, tune in. It's just to kickstart the week, because Mondays are always
the hard days.
Yes, correct. And so I just want to be in your ear and be like, get up, get the hell out of your bed.
Oh,
it's 4 a.m. It's Monday. Anyways, love you all. The Lord bless you and keep you. Keep riding with us, because let's continue to have these conversations, because they are meaningful and in depth.
Yes.
Bye. Thank you very much for listening. I'm Miracle.
And I'm still Miracle's little sister,
Elizabeth, aka Liz, aka Lizzie Boo. Up in here.
in the flesh, yo.
Oh my gosh. Thank you very much. This is episode 5 for season 2, Knights of the Round Laulau. Bye now.
Bye.
Pew pew.